If you set yourself up to think, I've got to do everything or I might as well do nothing, you're probably going to do nothing. Let's talk about it today. You know, today's video got inspired by a meeting a few of us were having literally less than 48 hours ago, or right around 48 hours ago as I'm taping this. Now, honestly, by the time I get around to editing and processing it and putting it up, it'll be a little bit longer than that, but hopefully this won't take too long to get up because there's an important thing that came up, and honestly, an important thing I'm a little embarrassed by having missed in our meeting. But it goes to that little idea you just heard in the teaser quote right up front. Let me forget about the meeting for a second. I'll get into the details, and I want you to imagine something for me. Imagine you got a friend who told you, hey, for my New Year's resolution, I'm going to quit smoking. And you're seeing him a little bit before the New Year's, and then about a month after the New Year, you run back into your friend and you ask him, how did it go? Well, I knew I'd fail. But then you press for a little bit more details. Well, no, what happened? Well, actually I went a few weeks without having a single cigarette, and then got stressed out. I had one, then I had another one, and dang it, I'm back up to smoking a quarter a pack a day. And you press for a little bit more details. Well, how much were you smoking before the New Year? Well, I was a 3-pack a day smoker. Now let's do a little bit of math here. Buddy, you failed? You go from smoking 3 packs of cigarettes a day. For those of you not familiar, I looked it up. 60 cigarettes a day down to a quarter pack a day. That's basically a 92% reduction in smoking on a day-to-day basis, 60 down to 5. But he also completely went smoke-free for a few weeks and only started smoking about the fourth week of the month. And you kind of start looking at the numbers there, and it's possible he cut down on a month-to-month comparison basis as much as 98 or 99%. Yeah, you'd have to calculate all the little details and count it out to get it precise. Point being, no matter how you calculate it, this guy has had over 90% success, and he's calling himself a failure. Big mistake. Because if he keeps believing that, he's going to quit. Game over. He's done. When he was making tremendous progress in meeting his goal of quitting smoking, and he psyched himself out to tell himself he couldn't do it. No, just redouble efforts. Look at what happened. How did you slip and all that kind of good stuff. It's amazing how often we do similar things in all kind of places. I haven't worked out in 20 years, so it's time for me to get in shape. I'm going to work out 8 hours a day. Who you kidding? If you haven't worked out in 20 years, there's no way you're going to do 8 hours a day right away. You're going to kill yourself. But you can do more than you've been doing. Maybe you go work out once. And then if you pull that off without killing yourself, you do it a second time. And you start slow motioning into things. As I was saying, we were having a meeting recently, and we're talking some of the strategies again in the local diocese about how to do things and that kind of stuff, and how to support our local priests in doing their good work, and how to get around and to do visits and that stuff. And we all started brainstorming, and there was this one particular couple that was there, and I just realized as I'm doing this tape, that's probably annoying, but my nose is itching. Bear with me. There was this one particular couple we were working with that I loved the way they were brainstorming, and they were thinking big about how to accomplish the goals and how to get as many priests covered as possible and all that kind of stuff. and I'm not naming them and that kind of stuff because I don't want to embarrass them, whatever, and that kind of stuff. Although I do hope to get this video to them to make the point that I failed to make that night. I really think they need to hear this. They just don't need to be called out personally. But although we had a little bit of slight difference in perspective of strategy and that kind of stuff, the thing that didn't occur to me until after the meeting was over, and like I say now about, actually it occurred to me a few hours later, but I'm getting around to making this video 48 hours later, 2 days later. They were thinking big. They were going for the I'm going to work out 8 hours a day kind of approach. Hey, you haven't been, how about you just go do one little priest visit, see how it works, or maybe one little shake the hand, or in terms of the details of the various ways you can support priests. My longest video so far, and I hope it stays the longest video for quite some time. People are much more pleased with short ones. But if you go back to the second video, video number 2, which was getting into a lot of the details of how to support the priest, you can get some details there. For the sake of brevity and clarity here, support can be anything from taking them out to dinner and spending hundreds of bucks, to just stopping and shaking their hand after Mass and saying, thank you, Father, you're doing a great job, which costs you nothing and takes, 30 seconds as opposed to a few hours. I don't even want to focus on that kind of differentiation so much, because all of those approaches are appropriate. Anything you can do to support them is good. If you can do the big fancy dinner, great. If you can just do the handshake, great. But do something. And more importantly, don't set yourself for failure that I've got to do the right thing every single time and every day, and I've got to make sure I never miss one. You're going to fail. You're going to think you're a failure. You're going to give up. And you're out of the fight. I'd rather you set a goal of, I'm going to go, whatever is your approach. I'm going to tell them hi. I'm going to give them a compliment. I'm going to take them out to lunch. I'm going to invite them over to the house. Again, I don't care what the particulars are right now. But I'm going to do it one time. I've never done this before, and going to suddenly I'm going to do it every day or even every week or even every month. I'm just going to do it once. See how it goes. And hopefully you'll find that you kind of were happy with yourself for doing it, and doing it the second time will be easier. And then the third time. And then maybe pick up the pace. Maybe those first 3 times took you half a year. And you're tempted to go, oh, I'm a loser. I could only get to one. Kind of like what I was saying a little while ago about the videos. I can only get to one every 2 months. I just realized the math that I did there. Big deal. You got them out. Or in this case, you got the support to the priests. And you can always pick up the pace later. But if you don't keep trying, if you give up, you end up doing nothing. And if you set the bar too high before you even start, you're going to get overwhelmed and not even try. If you're listening to and watching this video, I want to personally challenge you, however you do it, to try to go encourage just one priest just once. Then stop, look at what you did, assess it, and see if you can do it again. And then later you worry about the again and again and again and again. This video is still a little bit short, so a little bit of personal background, that kind of stuff. Again, I don't want to get too bogged down in details. But the two of us who are kind of leading and doing this most locally, at this point, we're trying to do it just about every week, and we're doing, the kind of meeting up and that kind of stuff, and where possible. We didn't start there. We were just going to our regular weekly masses. And then we heard about one priest that was having trouble in his parish because according to some of his parishioners, he was being too orthodox. Heaven forbid that a priest actually, teach the faith. And we heard about it through the grapevine, and we said to each other, Hey, why don't we go there for Mass next week? Just go there, shake his hand, and say, you know, whatever blowback you're getting from people about what you did, we think you did the right thing. Thank you for standing up for the faith, and please keep doing it. And that turned into another visit, and hearing about another priest. And 3 or 4 years down the road, we're doing visits on a regular basis. But it didn't start there. Don't force yourself to do everything at once. If God means you to do this, He'll give you the guidance and the encouragement and all that kind of stuff to figure out how to do it. But He needs you to take the first step. And the first step is one priest, one act of encouragement, and then see where it leads from there. Good luck. God bless. Good day. Bye.